Well, I think it started because Bob's excuse was lack of depth or something. They said there wasn't enough depth, which was bullshit because there were so many women who want to do it. And I think so many women who want to do it were also in the Olympia lineup. So you can't say there's no depth. Even the 212, they're not having. You know, the Arnold used to be like the Olympia. It had all the classes and shit, and people go there. They got every other sport there. And if it was about the prize money, you could even lower it because, you know, the Arnold and the Olympia, when the prize money was shit at the Olympia, people still done it. Yeah. When people didn't get paid out of the top 10 at the Olympia, people still done it. So people do it for the prestige, I think, more than anything. They go to the Arnold and win the Arnold title and compete in it. So it's not really the money. So even if you said we can't afford this much prize money, I think people do it for a lot less or even none. Yeah. Just to get that title. So that's all bullshit. And then Bob's, when you hear his excuses on why this and why that, it just made it even dumber. But the main was there's just no depth. We can't get people to do it. And everyone just laughed at that. It's just like, fuck off.
So do you think that's a sign of the decline of not just women's, but even men's in that? That's
might be a sign of the decline that Arnold getting out of it.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like, who knows? He didn't go to the one in England, remember, because of all the shenanigans that went on there, the promoter not paying people and stuff. So Arnold didn't go to the one in England, so I don't think the one in England's going to happen anymore. As of now, the one in Australia is not happening anymore. So whether, I know he's still with, like, knows that Raphael, the one who took the other IFBB Elite. Yep. And then there's the IFBB Pro League. So I know that he still does some stuff with Raphael, so maybe he might go over to the other side, especially now all this stuff with JM Sons coming out and the girls doing the Washington Post story about the nudity and the porn websites and that. I did see that. I haven't seen it though. Someone posted the Arnold Classic and Olympia respond to that article and that in the Washington Post, and James Cameron's going to do a documentary on it.
Oh, really?
Be like the JFK tapes. But I knew that was going on because I was with Adela and I heard how JM would talk to her. I saw what they had to do. I knew how much money he was taking, and I always said, I'd say in my interviews, that's what I get in trouble for. I said, it's a conflict of interest. If your father runs the whole organisation and your son has all these girls under contract and what they win, prize money or what they get from sponsors, you're getting roughly 50%. Isn't that a conflict of interest that all these girls always place top three? They're always in the money. Wow, how incredible is that?
And was it really 50% cut?
I think so, yeah. It was close.
But then again, I guess that's a good price to pay if you know you're always going to win.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people would do it, wouldn't they? But it's just crazy because then there was girls who were with him who placed top three and they left him in the same shape, never made top 10 again.
Yeah, right.
So, I know Monica Brown, what she won. Did she win one Olympia or one of the big ones? He wanted to sign her, she never did, and Monica never won one of the big ones again. Even, there was, I forget what show it was, where like, Monica will probably get second because JM's girl was in it, but then a day or two before the show, she got sick and was like, oh, this is Monica's day, she's going to win today because her main competition was sick. One of JM's girls who normally places out of the top 6 won the show. She went from there to jumping Monica and winning. So it's always been like that. Everyone knows what's going on. Whether he asked for sexual favours, I don't know about that side, which I don't think he would. But as far as all the other shit with the nudity websites and all that, yeah, which I found weird too because I did interviews about it saying how he had those websites with the girls doing nudity, but just say you're another girl in the industry who's not with JM and did nudity, you get in trouble for it.
Really?
So, wasn't quite fair, was it?
Well, what a class act.
And I said that I haven't read the whole thing, but I think there's a bit of a clip too where they interview the girls. They're all talking about what happened and what to them. And yeah, then I heard James Cameron, the big movie producer, is going to do a documentary about it.
We'll see if you can find it. So,
yeah, the Washington Post article should be up there, and there are some video clips someone sent me. Like, looks like it's from YouTube where the girls are being interviewed.
Well, you wonder why women's bodybuilding's declined when, and you know, you could imagine people throwing it away because, you know, you just mentioned about competing at Arnold for less money, but then if you know
exactly
the whole thing's rigged.
But they reckon it was in their contracts and still. So I guess if you're going to sign, it's almost like the Harvey Weinstein thing. If I'm making a movie and I say you want the lead role, you got to suck my dick, and you do it. Well, it's wrong of me to ask, but if you actually do it, then it's more of a business.
Yeah.
You agreed to it.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, a lot of those girls who did that made a couple more movies with him. So it's like that girl. Who was that girl that lives in Australia now? She went to Epstein's Island and got paid to be quiet. Then she came out again, and there it is.
What?
They actually rang me up to be a part of it, but I was like, I can't be bothered getting into it and going through it all again because it was so long ago. 30,000 images. Oh my God.
Oh, it's just soft core.
There was like girls, you know, pillow fighting on beds and stuff. Fitness divas, that was it.
Fitness divas, eh?
And there's one called Alluring Fitness also.
Okay. And what about yourself? Were you ever pressured to...
No. It breaks my heart, actually. That's why I wish this Esquire guy was real, because I never got the gay for pay offers and shit.
So just on there, someone, Gates, said that they never consented to having their...
I heard some of them pictures were put on soft porn sites without their consent, but then again... The way they word some of those contracts, I know some people don't read them.
Oh, okay.
Once you take photos, if he takes photos off you, he can pretty much use them for whatever he wants. Those images become his property, so that's the shitty thing about. They can word it in ways where, you know, they can do whatever they want with them.
Yeah. Oh, I guess...
Is there a picture of JM there, Jim Manion's son? He looks like the son you're embarrassed by. It's like Will. Remember Will Ferrell in Elf, and his father was embarrassed.
Yeah.
That's why Jim Manion probably gave the running of the show to his grandson Tyler rather than his son.
Yeah, right. Well, his son might have been...
There's JM.
There he goes.
That's Jim Manion.
Yeah, well, I guess too, like with the way the women pose and what they wear.
And the poses they do from the rear.
Yeah. Like you're already sort of at soft core then. So I guess, you know, wherever they are on the internet, whether they're on a bodybuilding site or a soft core, you know, people will still be doing the same thing with those images regardless of... But I guess it's the bit where you know, they're coerced into getting their gear off.
There's got to be a picture of JM, does there? No, that's not it.
But yeah, no.
There he is. And does that look like a a porn director or what?
Yeah. Isn't it sad that, you know, over the years how many people have exploited the sport just for their own gain? And when you look at some of the, you know, where you go to a bodybuilding show, and the show's not the greatest, but the guy's there pocketing the cash and
always the way.
It's yeah. I guess that's what, you know, you look at the sport now and you think, oh, if people had been running it that had the best interests of it at heart and
I know
build it up.
Well, even the Weeders could have back in the day. Like, you know, as much as Joe loved the sport and put into it, you know, it was worth hundreds of millions. You could have put a bit more back. You know, see if you can find. I know they said the Olympia organisation and the Arnold Classic did a response to it, but I couldn't find it.
I think that was it, no?
Yeah.
Was it the response from the Olympia people and the Arnold Classic people? Or was that a response from JM, the IFBB? Because I know the Olympia people and the Arnold Classic are separate. that Jake Woods runs the Olympia now, so I'm not sure.